Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for passing by and watching this video. In this video we will talk about photosynthesis, mainly about the definition, the location of photosynthesis, the light reaction, and finally the Calvin cycle. Hope you guys enjoy this one. First of all, plants are the main source of organic molecules. They synthesize them in the green leaves using light energy in a process called photosynthesis. In a general description for the photosynthesis, we summarize it in one redox chemical reaction, as in the following. Carbon dioxide reacts with water and light energy to produce glucose, oxygen, and water, where CO2 is reduced to glucose and H2O is oxidized to oxygen using the light energy to drive this inorganic chemical reaction. However, this does not really describe the process. To know exactly what's happening in the leaves of green plants and algae, we need to determine the location of photosynthesis, which happens to be in the chloroplasts, which is shown to you all in the picture, and more precisely in the chloroplast stroma and the thylakoid membrane. The chloroplast structure is mainly made of the double membrane, the intermembrane space, the stack of granum, and the stroma, which is the space between the thylakoids and the inner membrane and contains the most important enzymes and coenzymes for the carbohydrate synthesis. Alright, now that we have enough general background about photosynthesis, I hope you all are ready because we are going a little bit deeper and discuss the actual two parts of photosynthesis, or the two phases, which are the light-dependent and the light-independent reactions. The light-dependent reactions, or the light reactions, simply, they take place in the membranes of thylakoids that contain a green pigment called chlorophyll. These pigments capture light energy and cause series of reactions to start. In this phase, water and light energy are used, while oxygen and ATP and NADPH are produced. In the second phase, or the second part of photosynthesis, which is the light independent, sometimes it's called the Calvin cycle, it occurs in the stroma and uses ATP and NADPH to incorporate carbon dioxide into organic molecules. And now this small animation will show both the light reaction and the Calvin cycle. As you can see, the products in the light reaction, the NADPH and the ATP, are used in the Calvin cycle to produce the glucose. So far we've talked about these two phases together, but now we will discuss them separately, starting with the light reactions. And this small animation will show that exactly. It will start as the light rays fall on the chlorophyll of the photosynthesis system. And here, as you can see, the light falls on them. And by this, the electrons will become excited. And these excited electrons will move through electron transport chain. At the same time, the water will be oxidized by the PS2, giving two electrons that would also move through the electron chain transport. The energy of these electrons will be used to create hydrogen-proton gradient, which is later used to produce ATP. And by the end of this chain, the electrons are finally recepted by the NADP+, which is reduced to NADPH. There we go. Moving on to the second phase, which is the Calvin cycle, a large input of energy is required and the cycle goes through three major steps: carbon fixation by the RUPP, the carbon dioxide reduction and carbohydrate production, and finally the regeneration of the RUPP. This last part of our really small and humble presentation summarizes both phases of photosynthesis. Thank you again, all of you, for watching it, and remember to pass by our channel and subscribe it. Hope to see you again. Goodbye.